Welcome to the Obscura Podcast, where the forgotten past whispers, and the strange, the haunted, and the unexplained come back to life. I'm Victor, and tonight, we're stepping into the year 1518, into a small city on the edge of the Holy Roman Empire, where one woman stepped into the street and began to dance, not with joy, not with music, but with something else, something darker. With me is my friend and fellow explorer of the uncanny, Talia.
I already hate this. Dancing? In 1518? That sounds innocent enough, Victor, but I can tell this is going to take a weird turn.
Oh, it takes a turn, all right. By the end of it, people were collapsing in the streets. Some danced until their bones cracked. Some until they died. No one could explain it.
Wait, died? From dancing?
Yes, and it happened for weeks. Some say hundreds were affected, and no one really knows why. So let's begin in Strasbourg, a city that, at the time, was part of the Holy Roman Empire. It's July, it's hot, the plague has already visited in previous years. Life is hard, food is scarce, but nothing prepares them for what happens next. On a perfectly ordinary morning, a woman named Frau Trophäa walks out into the street. Without music, without ceremony, she begins to dance. Not a twirl, not a jig. She just starts moving, jerking, spinning, trembling. Her arms flail, her feet slap the cobblestone. She doesn't stop. People gather, they watch, and she doesn't stop for 6 days.
6 days? That's impossible. You'd collapse from exhaustion. Or dehydration. Did no one try to stop her?
Oh, they did. But every time they tried, she resisted. It was as if her body had a will of its own. And then others joined. Within a week, there were over 30 dancers. A month later, 400. Some danced until they collapsed. Some until they foamed at the mouth. Some never got back up.
Victor, that's actually horrifying. Like a plague of puppets, and someone's pulling the strings.
That's the image, yes. The authorities, deeply religious but also baffled, ruled out demonic possession. Instead, they called it a natural illness. They believed the only cure was to dance it out. So what did they do? They built a stage. They brought in musicians. They paid people to perform music for the afflicted.
You're kidding. They encouraged it?
Absolutely. They believed this was a kind of fever that needed to burn itself out. So the city became a kind of cursed carnival. Imagine it, Talia. Summer sun, bodies rising in the street, music echoing from the square, and the faint smell of sweat and blood as feet bled into leather shoes.
Okay. Pause. What was this? Mass hysteria? Demonic possession? Poison? What are the theories?
There are 3 main theories, and they're all disturbing in their own way. Theory 1, ergot poison. But there's something even stranger, Talia. This wasn't the only time it happened. There were reports of similar dancing outbreaks across medieval Europe. In 1237, a group of children in Germany reportedly danced uncontrollably for miles before collapsing. Some say it's the root of the legend of the Pied Piper.
You're telling me the fairy tale might be based on real events?
That's one theory. The line between myth and memory is thinner than we like to think. And it makes you wonder how much of what we call folklore began with something we just couldn't explain.
That's so creepy. Like all those weird childhood stories. Maybe they weren't warnings. Maybe they were records.
Exactly. Now, some people today have drawn parallels between the dancing plague and modern events, like sudden waves of fainting in schools, or even online-induced mass behaviors. But nothing on the scale of Strasbourg, nothing that lasted this long, affected this many, or ended in death.
Do we know how it stopped? Like, did the music just end?
Eventually, the city reversed its policy. The dancers were no longer encouraged. They were gathered up, many of them barely conscious, and sent away to the mountains. There, they were taken to a shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus, pilgrims, barefoot. Some say they were made to wear red shoes and walk in silence. When they came back, the dancing had stopped.
That sounds like a horror movie. Red shoes, silent mountains. Were they cured or just broken?
Maybe both. We'll never know if they returned to normal or lived with the memories. We don't even know how many of them survived. Records are vague, fragmented. What we do know is that the city never recovered its sense of safety. The event haunted Strasbourg for generations.
You know what really gets me, Victor? It's not the dancing. It's not even the deaths. It's the fact that we still don't know. It's not like a puzzle we solved later. It's an open wound in history.
That's what makes it obscura. We want our past to be orderly, but every so often, something rises out of the archives, something we can't classify, and it reminds us, history isn't always a story with a beginning, middle, and end. Sometimes it's just a shiver, waiting to return.
Please don't say waiting to return. You're going to make me afraid to go to sleep.
Then I've done my job. This has been Obscura Podcast. If you're listening and you enjoyed this journey into the strange, subscribe, share, and leave us a comment. And if you find yourself dancing, and you don't know why, remember Frau Trophia. And step carefully.
I hate this show. I'll be back next week.